Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
Surprise phone call. Imagine you're settling down with a large packet of Doritos, perhaps, and some salsa to dip them in. Somewhat unhealthy, but hey, you've been working hard and you want to kick back. All of a sudden, your phone rings. You don't recognize the number, and then when you answer, you're met by the sounds of Ginge and Whinge greeting you. Imagine that. You're just going to enjoy an episode of Volume 2 of The Witcher, and these two cretins call you up. How disappointing. I think you'd be tempted to say, sorry, you've got the wrong number, don't know who you're calling for, in order to avoid having to listen to the nonsense that's been provided. But Harry and Harry's wife have presented a united front. Yes, suggestions of separation may well be exaggerated, or is this just part of the deal that occasionally brings them together for the purposes of trying to maintain brand Sussex, and as soon as they part, they're cursing one another out? Only time will tell. But the latest appearance by the gruesome twosome is from the garden, apparently in Monty's shit show. Yes, a cultivated video for something called the RT Youth Power Fund. Archwell seems to have some involvement with this, and it would appear that they've joined a video. It's unclear when this was filmed, so it could have been some time ago perhaps, but it's a video about working with young people to improve the digital world. They apparently surprised recipients of the first Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund grants with phone calls to congratulate them. Well, it's quite astonishing because each recipient of the call just happens to be sat at a desk or sat at a table and is available. It would have been hugely entertaining, wouldn't it, if Thick and Empty had called and then Harry's going, oh, there's nobody answering. And she's saying to him, have you put the wrong number in, you idiot? But no, it just so happens that in each and every instance of call that's been made, the surprise call has resulted in someone not only answering, but they just happen to be sat there with a camera on them as well. So much for surprise. Once again, as much that exists within the world of the Sussexes, it's all staged. And in the video, we basically have a fairly minor appearance, which is unusual for Harry's wife. You'd think she'd want to try and be centre stage. I guess those editing the video have decided we don't want to involve them too much. We'll let the young people speak and cause them to be the centre of the video. Fairly sensible. There's a gentleman called Dr. Jaspal Sandhu who talks a little bit about it, and words such as equitable and inclusive are bandied around, which will, of course, cause you to lose the will to live. But essentially, there are some young people who are talking about, for instance, trying to stop cyberbullying and so forth. And in response to that, Harry enthusiastically announces, this is amazing. This is exactly why we do what we do. Which is what? Pay bots to go around cyberbullying the Windsors? Then the Waleses? Who knows? As mentioned, the young people talk more than they do, and they're enthusiastic about it all. And at one point, Harry states, "Thank you for doing everything that you do. Our kids are incredibly grateful." Well, clearly the IQs of Archie and Lilibet are far higher than we had given them credit for, because they're somehow able to understand that the Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund is involved in helping people, young people, who are dealing with improving the digital world. And the Sussex children are fully on board with understanding what improving the digital world means. Of course, where they would get such intelligence from, given that their parents aren't exactly bright, is a question that really needs to be answered. But what's entertaining is the fact that Harry states, "Thank you for everything. Thank you for doing everything that you do. Our kids are incredibly grateful," which of course can't be true. But then Harry's wife immediately interjects and says they don't know it yet, but they will, showing Harry up for being a bit of a doofus. once again demonstrating that she's got no emotional empathy for him, that she's quite content to correct him in front of everybody for the purposes of this video, which then makes him look even more stupid than he actually is. Interestingly, both the Sussexes and the recipients of the call think they're in The Apprentice because rather than hold the phone conventionally to your ear, as you might ordinarily do so, they decide that they're going to hold it horizontally. And the Sussexes don't really seem to be looking at one another. There's a brief glance from the Prince of Pink Pancakes towards his handler, but they spend a lot of time not looking at one another. What might we read into that? Perhaps they really cannot stand one another, and it is simply all they can do to be brought together for this video. But it's another appearance by them, and it's likely to be another situation whereby Archwell is hijacking the work of something else, the Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund, and donating money that's been donated, so they're not spending their own money, and it's making them look good once again. It's not a surprise, and they've popped up again, trying to demonstrate that they're philanthropic and charitable, but it's just not going to wash. The reaction of most people will be to laugh at them. And for instance, it's staged in their garden, and what is Harry's wife wearing? The Duchess of Beige is decked out in beige. The Prince of Pink Pancakes is in his corduroys and a white shirt, but there she is wearing beige after complaining about the fact that she had to wear beige when she was a member of the royal family or a working member and would want to wear more colourful stuff. Yet since then, we've seen a lot of the beige, haven't we? One of our jowls is missing, for example, the camel coat that has been bandied around, and of course this. It's another appearance which will just result in ridicule, and I'm sure already across social media and below-the-line comments about this are ripping the piss out of them rather than saying good for them. That's how far they've fallen. Nobody's interested in giving them the benefit of the doubt because people think, no, you've pushed it too far. So another attempt by Harry's wife to manage the facade, but it'll fail because most people will just see it for what it is, a staged attempt to curry favour from a thoroughly unlikable individual. But if you've not seen the video, here it comes, and you can judge for yourself.
Hello, this is Tazine.
Hi, Jazine.
Hi, Jazine.
Hi! Oh my god!
I can't believe that I'm speaking with you both right now.
The Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund is an investment in young people that are shaping a more equitable and inclusive technology future. The Youth Power Fund is supporting 26 organizations from around the United States that are focused on the whole spectrum of responsible technology, from harm mitigation to ensuring equitable access to the benefits of technology, to using technology as a platform to address some of the biggest challenges that this next generation is facing.
Congratulations, this is great, and we're so happy to have you as part of this team.
Really, thank you for all the work you're doing. It's huge. It's making an enormous impact.
It was like young people were empowered and emboldened to say things to me online that they would never say to me in person.
And so my vision was,
can we actually stop the cyberbullying at the source with the cyberbully via a behavioral approach that actually teaches young people to pause and rethink.
This is amazing. This is exactly why we do what we do. This is exactly why the Youth Power Fund was created.
You know, so many different opportunities have presented itself to really uplift our message and to continue our work to inform legislation and to create a safe online world for young people, for the next generation,
for your kids and so many other people that need to be protected,
and to have their digital rights maintained.
Social media was a major area that I think in many ways is a lot helpful to a lot of people, but at the same time creates huge harms for so many people, especially in terms of mental health.
I felt like I had to get involved because I think young people are going to need to be heard.
In order for politicians to take action on this issue.
I got involved in legislative advocacy initiative in my home state of California here in the US, and I actually came across an investigation that found that there were algorithms being used in our legal system here in the US that are actually biased against Black defendants.
Thank you for doing everything that you do. Our kids especially are incredibly grateful.
They don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet.
But they will.
So good to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Take
one.
care. Bye.
Bye.